Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're grabbing the absolute master key to C2 level English, advanced adverb clauses. If you've ever felt like your writing is hitting a ceiling or your ideas are just a bit too fragmented, well, this is the exact grammatical tool that's going to smash right through that barrier. So, what actually separates good English from truly sophisticated communication? We often trick ourselves into thinking it's all about memorizing these massive, obscure vocabulary words. But honestly, it's really not. Advanced English is actually about architecture. It's about how you connect your ideas logically to persuade, to clarify, and to structure a professional conversation so tightly that your audience literally has no choice but to follow your exact line of reasoning. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We'll uncover the secret to sophistication, break down the anatomy of an adverb clause, explore time, place, and reason, then dive into purpose, condition, and contrast, before wrapping it all up with results and comparisons. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The secret to sophistication and unlocking complex ideas. First things first, we need to establish exactly what this master key is and why it's a total game changer for your professional communication. Basically, an adverb clause is a dependent clause that functions entirely as an adverb. It modifies a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or even a whole independent clause. And why is this absolutely crucial? Because this clause brings the vital context to your sentence. It delivers the why, the when, the where, or the how. But catch that word, dependent. It can't survive on its own. It absolutely must be anchored to a strong independent clause to actually make sense. Moving on to Section 2, anatomy of an adverb clause and building the framework. To truly grasp what we mean by dependent, just imagine a coworker walking right up to your desk and saying, "Because the experiment failed," and then they just stop. You're waiting for the rest, right? It leaves you totally hanging. It's completely unresolved. But if they say, "Because the experiment failed, the researchers revised their hypothesis," boom, there's that satisfying logical finality. The dependent clause set up the context, but the independent clause delivered the main action. Now here is what's really fascinating. Every single adverb clause, no matter how complex the thought or how academic the subject is, follows this exact simple three-step formula. Step 1, subordinating conjunction. Step 2, subject. Step 3, verb. If you lock down this foundational blueprint, you can build incredibly sophisticated sentences without ever losing your grip on the grammar. Let's zoom in on that first step, those subordinating conjunctions. We're talking about words like because, since, although, even though, if, and unless. Please don't just think of these as boring grammar particles. They're vital signals. They act like bright neon signposts that instantly tell your audience exactly how your upcoming ideas connect, long before they even finish the sentence. They literally pave the logical pathway. All right, Section 3. Time, place, and reason, setting the stage. So we can neatly group these first three classifications by the fundamental questions they answer. Need to establish when something goes down? You use a time clause with words like when, after, or since. Need to clarify where it happens? Hit them with a place clause. Need to explain why? You drop in a reason clause using because, since, or as. It is all about anticipating the basic questions your listener has and answering them effortlessly as you speak. Let's see this reason clause in action. Because the evidence was insufficient, the case was dismissed. Just feel the weight and the rhythm there. It doesn't just state a dry fact, it perfectly structures a really high-stakes outcome. By front-loading the justification, the final action, the dismissal of the case, feels absolutely inevitable. It's logically bulletproof. That brings us to Section 4, purpose, condition, and contrast, shaping arguments and expectations. Notice how these three types of clauses demand a much higher level of thinking from both you and your listener. Using so that or lest for purpose forces you to explicitly declare your intention. For conditions, conjunctions like if or unless let you set very strict parameters or requirements. And for contrast, using although or whereas, you clearly express a conflicting idea. This is exactly how you force absolute clarity into your communication, making sure your requirements and contradictions are undeniable. I absolutely love this contrast example. Even though the evidence was compelling, the jury remained unconvinced. We have all been in that exact kind of frustrating scenario, haven't we? You're in a meeting, you present rock-solid, incredible data, and your team just doesn't buy it. A concession clause like even though beautifully captures that specific reality where logic doesn't automatically win the day. The adverb clause builds up this strong expectation of success, and then the main clause just swoops in and contradicts it completely. Finally, Section 5, Results and Comparisons, delivering the final impact. The crucial point here is that result and comparison clauses finalize your argument by showing concrete outcomes or clear benchmarks. Structures like so that or such that point straight to the definitive outcome of a situation. Meanwhile, comparative structures like than or as demonstrate exactly how two things are similar or different. Let's read this comparison clause example out loud. The new software performs better than the previous version did. It's clean, it's exact, and there is zero room for confusion. This perfectly highlights how advanced speakers provide precise clarity to a business claim. You aren't just loosely saying the software is good, you are locking down a direct grammatical comparison against a previous baseline. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take this core concept with you. Adverb clauses are not just dusty grammar exercises. They are powerful, practical tools for organizing your thoughts and forging meaningful relationships between your ideas. Mastering these structures elevates everything you say from basic, disjointed statements to true C2-level sophistication. They empower you to articulate your most complex thoughts with absolute precision and unmistakable professional authority. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge today. How will you use adverb clauses to elevate your next argument? Grab this master key. Whether it's for an upcoming major presentation, a critical academic paper, or literally just a high-stakes email, intentionally use these clauses to connect your ideas. You will completely transform the persuasive power of your words. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy writing!